Chapter 142. All roads lead to the same place. It did not sound that scary on paper, but upon closer inspection it was quite creepy. The monster climbed on top of your little brother's shoulders and it grew taller? Chen Ge could not picture a 2.6-meter tall person standing on top of a child's shoulders. That is what our little brother wrote. We even asked him to draw a picture, and he did. Wang Hailong took out his phone. This is the picture he drew from memory when we took him to the doctor last time. Chen Ge glanced at the phone. It was a weird picture. At the bottom of the picture there was a fat and short child. He took up about 1/10 of the paper. The other 90% was dominated by the weird thing on his shoulders. What is this? Chen Ge looked at the thing on the child's shoulder. It looked like a woman with unruly hair, but the body looked male, very skinny, like 2 bamboo poles covered with a white cloth. Can't you recognize it? I saw something similar in your haunted house. There was a girl who stood on people's shoulders, and at the time, I was reminded of my little brother's story. Wang Hailong took back his phone. He glanced at the haunted house and residual fear pooled in his eyes. Since you created this scenario, you have to have experienced something similar. Also, when the girl was stepping on my shoulders, it felt very real. If not for my sanity, I would have thought I'd run into a real ghost. Our haunted house utilizes the latest 4D technology and special techniques to stimulate the customer's 5 senses. That was why you felt something on your shoulders. Chen Ge lied shamelessly. The whole standing on the shoulders thing is just a coincidence. Fine. But Wang Hailong did not give up. Then, can you tell me what it is that inspired you to create such a scene? This Wang Hailong was a stubborn fellow. Chen Ge thought about it and said, "There are no ghosts in this world. Those are all part of human imagination. I know that you are worried about your little brother, but I'm not even a doctor. Instead of asking me, why don't you consult a psychologist? In fact, I can recommend one." The park could close in another 2 months, so Chen Ge did not want to waste time on unimportant stuff. He was also doing this for Wang Hailong's brother's sake. After all, he had no official psychological training, so it would be better if this was handled by a professional. My dad has taken him to psychologists since he was young. In fact, there was a mental hospital beside our old house, and my little brother was admitted for a period of time, but the effect was lacking. Wang Hailong hesitated. "Brother, let me." Wang Wenlong held his brother. "For some weird reason, our little brother has a weird aversion toward doctors. He screams and struggles or even turns violent when he is near people in a doctor's garb. Because of this, we have to notify the doctors beforehand whenever we visit a new doctor." Aversion to doctors? Chen Ge found the second anomaly about Wang Hailong's brother. Could it be that the thing on your brother's shoulders is afraid of doctors, so it harms the boy whenever a doctor is near? We do not know the actual reason. Before he was admitted to the hospital next door, he was fine, but after he was released from it, he started to get afraid of doctors. Wang Wenlong added. This was a secret they had shared for years. The sudden change must have a reason. Chen Ge tried to help them by analyzing what he knew. Could it be that something the doctor did during his treatment scarred him for life? That's impossible. Shenglong was very young when he sought treatment at the hospital, so the family was at his side at all times. The doctors treated him well. Since it's not the doctors, then perhaps it might have been the environment. Perhaps you can return to this old hospital. Maybe you can find some clues there. Chen Ge gave his suggestion, and then turned to leave for lunch. The hospital closed down a long time ago. The 3rd hospital building Shenglong stayed at is now completely sealed, so we cannot gain entry even if we want to. Wang Hailong sighed. I'm sorry to unload all this on you. Too many things happened today that reminded us of our little brother. The 3rd building? Due to the Black Phone's mission, Chen Ge was very sensitive toward the word 3rd. What is this hospital? It was the hospital next to our old house. It was in the next district. We were poor back then, so we could only afford that place. After things got better, we transferred him to another hospital. That's not what I meant. What is the name of this hospital? Chen Ge's eyes that looked at Wang Hailong were rather scary. Zhujiang 3rd Psychological Convalescence Center, commonly known as 3rd Center. If I'm not mistaken, it has been abandoned for 5 or 6 years already. Wang Hailong and his brother could not understand this change in Chen Ge. Is there a place called the Third Sick Hall at this center? Chen Ge was lining up the dots in his mind. That's what you meant. Some referred to the third building my little brother once stayed in as the Third Sick Hall. They are the same place, just different names. I understand. Chen Ge took in a deep breath. I know the best doctor in Zhujiang. If possible, can you bring me to meet your little brother tonight? Afraid that he might be rejected, Chen Ge immediately started to toot Dr. Gao's horn. No problem, but you have to be prepared. My little brother is, how shall I put this? Is not that normal looking? Wang Hailong forced a smile. If the doctor you mention is coming along, remind him to wear casually. Then, he pulled out a black name card from his pocket. On the front, it was written, Long Hufang 1. You are? Looking at the uniquely designed name card and the tattoos that covered their body, it finally dawned on Chen Ge. Are these gang members? This was the first time Chen Ge had interacted with such individuals in his life. Noticing the shock on Chen Ge's face, Wang Hailong whispered, It is as you thought. Long Hufang's Sichuan steamboat is owned by my family. The contact number is on the back of the card. Chen Ge flashed a bright smile as he accepted the card. Do you have a more specific address? Come to the old district's Haoming apartments tonight. Shenglong and my father stay there. Chapter 143, Three Personas. When Wang Hailong mentioned the name of the location, Chen Ge was stunned. Are the Haoming apartments that you mentioned situated in the deepest part of a residential area, with rubbish piling up outside and a very old-looking building? This time, it was Wang Hailong and Wenlong who were shocked. You've been there? I just came back from the place the night before yesterday. Chen Ge also did not think things could be so coincidental. Nice. This means that you know the way there. We're going there tonight. My father has a stubborn disposition, so it will be better for us to meet up downstairs first before going up together. After drafting the plan, the brothers left. Wang Shenglong's old home is next to the Third Sick Hall. Could the monster he saw that night have escaped from the hospital? After he was admitted into the Third Sick Hall, his problem deteriorated. Everything seems to lead back to the mental hospital. Chen Ge watched as the pair of brothers walked away. There's a monster that came out of the Third Sick Hall residing in Wang Haoming, and there appears to be another monster in Wang Shenglong, and they both chose to live at Haoming apartments. Suddenly, Chen Ge was reminded of the words mentioned by the young man in room 302. He had once overheard the two voices in Wang Haoming argue, and one of them said that if he was not afraid of being captured by the Red Spectre, he would have killed the other entity already. Could the thing that the monster in Wang Haoming was afraid of be the monster within Wang Shenglong? If that is true, doesn't it mean the monster in Wang Shenglong is on the same level as Zhang Ya? Wang Shenglong is the scariest entity at Haoming apartments? This question was too complicated. Chen Ge skipped lunch and sat on the steps before the haunted house to think. The monster on Wang Haoming had been afraid of tearing away from Wang Haoming because it had felt something. It had forced the young man in room 302 to capture living creatures starting from the initial sparrows, stray dogs, and finally a living human. It slowly broadened its appetite as if feeling out the bottom line of a certain presence. It was similar to the mirror monster, but the one at Chen Ge's haunted house had acted so brashly. In comparison, the monster at Haoming apartment was cautious. Obviously, the monster was afraid, so from this hypothesis, even if the monster on Wang Shenglong was not a red specter, it was much stronger than normal ghosts. Just how scary is this Third Sick Hall? There's a presence much stronger than the mirror monster, and from the looks of things, these were the two that escaped. There are probably more monsters sealed in that place. Chen Ge rubbed his temples. A 3-star scenario is already like this. Just how scary will the 4-star school of the afterlife be? Standing up, Chen Ge gave Dr. Gao a call. He was unsure whether Dr. Gao was free or not, but if the doctor was too busy, he decided that he would go alone. The call was picked up after 2 rings, and Dr. Gao said, Chen Ge, how can I help you? It's nothing really. I'm just calling to ask about Men Nan. How is he doing? After a day of rest, he is getting better, but his condition is not that optimistic. In fact, I fear his situation is worse than I expected. Dr. Gao sounded severe on the phone. That shouldn't be. Chen Ge was confused. He had already helped Men Nan solve the issue in his heart. He had completed the mission given by the black phone, so his condition should have improved. Listen to me. After Men Nan woke up, I reinitiated another psychological diagnosis, and I happened upon a startling discovery. Dr. Gao paused, and it sounded like he was walking over to a more private area before continuing. There are 3 personas hiding in Men Nan's body. One is a growing persona, which is the normal Men Nan we see daily. Another persona he has adopted is his dead mother. This persona sees herself as Men Nan's mother. I suspect the appearance of this persona is a method of self-defense created by Men Nan's consciousness after witnessing his mother's murder at a young age. What about the third? The period of appearance for this third persona is very short, so we still don't have much information on him. The only thing that I can confirm is that he does exist. This persona is unique. He will not grow, staying stasis at the age when Men Nan was still a child. I cannot communicate with him, and he shows up only for a short period of time. However, whenever this persona takes control of the body, Men Nan's acumen for psychology doubles. Meaning Men Nan's talent is related to this third persona? Yes, I've not come across a more talented person. Dr. Gao had high praise for Men Nan. However, the need to preserve his talent means that the process of recovery will be very difficult. Normal medication will strengthen his normal persona and weaken the others. I'm afraid this will ruin his talent, so I'm discussing his case with other experts. Hopefully, we'll be able to come up with a treatment specifically designed for Men Nan. When he was cured, his talent would also disappear. It was unknown whether this was a good or bad thing for Men Nan. Since Dr. Gao sounded so busy on the phone, Chen Ge did not bring up Wang Shenglong. He did not want to bother the good doctor anymore. All right, hopefully Men Nan will have a speedy recovery. Goodbye. When he was about to hang up, Dr. Gao said, Wait, you must have called me for a reason. Men Nan is currently too weak to undergo any psychological treatment, so I am not that busy at the moment. If you have a problem, feel free to ask me. Since Dr. Gao had said so, Chen Ge did not hold back and told him everything he knew about Wang Shenglong. Dr. Gao was silent before saying, Okay, I will come with you tonight. After all, Men Nan's daily effects are still in Haoming apartments. I have been meaning to find time to go fetch him for him. Thank you, Dr. Gao. There's no need for thanks. I've heard all about you from Ru Shui. As a psychology aficionado, you are more than willing to put your knowledge into practice to help others. To be honest, you make me feel ashamed of myself. Psychology aficionado? That's what Gao Ru Shui said about me? Chen Ge did not know whether to laugh or cry. He had a feeling that the other party had misunderstood him somewhat. Your haunted house makes use of many psychological tricks, and it shows you have been reading up on psychology. Dr. Gao laughed. If there's a chance, I shall pay it a visit. You flatter me. Chen Ge wiped the sweat off his forehead. The thought of placing the suit-wearing Dr. Gao in his haunted house to scare for half an hour spooked Chen Ge. His whole characterization would collapse after something like that. Dr. Gao's voice soon returned to normal. There are plenty who self-study psychology, but there aren't many who are willing to do something for the patients. You have helped Wang Xin with her problem, and to be honest, when you called me to ask for help, I was touched. Only those who have experienced psychological trauma will understand the pain involved. Actually, I've been trying to thank you on behalf of Wang Xin and Men Nan. It is because of you that they were able to break free from their psychological shackles and breathe a breath of fresh air. Chen Ge was praised so much by Dr. Gao that he did not even remember ending the call. After all, this was the first time someone had praised him thusly. Chen Ge realized then that he was quite a noble person.